Hi, everyone, and welcome to our segment, Preparing for DBS. I'm your host, Jessica Krauser, and I'm here with my co-host, Brian Baker.
Hey, hey.
And we have a special guest with us today, Roz Parish.
Thanks for asking me to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here. So, Roz is another member of our gym at PD Next Steps.
Yep.
And she's getting ready to do her first DBS surgery, which is deep brain stimulation.
Correct.
But before we even go any further into what we're going to hear about from you, I just want to, because not a lot of people actually know what DBS is, but deep brain stimulation, according to Boston Scientific, is a surgical treatment which can help manage some movement disorder symptoms. DBS is typically used to treat people with advanced Parkinson's disease, dystonia, and essential tremors, whose symptoms are no longer controlled by medication. It is well-established, safe, and effective treatment that helps improve day-to-day experiences and quality of life for their patients. So, Roz, you're getting brain surgery.
Oh, yeah.
In 2 weeks?
Yes, March 7th.
2 weeks. So let's talk about first when you were diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Okay. I was diagnosed, actually I had symptoms starting in 2011, and my symptoms were my toes were gripping and like they wanted to, curl and grip onto something. Mm-hmm. I lost the swing in my right arm, and,
was it all just your right side?
Pretty much, okay. Yeah. And my tremor was bad. And so then after I was diagnosed, or I kind of lived with those symptoms for like 2 years. And my family started being a little more concerned. My mom was one that had essential tremors, and so we kind of were thinking that was the route I was going to go.
Yeah.
Went to my family doctor. They sent me to a specialist, went to a movement disorder specialist, and basically within 10 minutes of the time I was in the room, did a few little Parkinson's tests on me and said, "You have Parkinson's, come back and see me in 6 months." Well, that was quite a blow.
Yeah.
All of us can remember the day we were diagnosed. And so my husband and I left, and we were both in tears in the parking lot. And I said, well, I might have Parkinson's, but I really don't want to go back to that particular person. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up with another neurologist who actually, when I went to her, she did a few more things, but she was the person that I actually felt like I was her only patient. Mm-hmm. So she softened the blow a little bit. And, fortunately for me, I've been on Cinemet and also on Mirapex, and the medication has worked for me for quite some time. But 10 years now, the medication is starting not to work. I'm feeling like I'm going to have increased medication. Mm-hmm. So DBS became an option.
So DBS became an option, I think, just last year, though, right? Because you've been thinking about it, and it really hit home last year, I think,
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much so. The neurologist that I switched to, she introduced it to us kind of early on. Mm-hmm. She sent us out the door with a CD and just information about it, and I grabbed it, and when we walked out, my husband he's awesome, and he goes to all my doctor's appointments with me, and he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I just have some interest in this. So he was definitely not on board. And I just, at that time, I wasn't quite on board. Mm-hmm. But as through the gym and the great people at the gym that have walked the journey, they helped me realize that this could be for me. Mm-hmm. And thanks to Melissa Carlson, the PD Next Steps owner, she has brought many speakers in and done webinars. And the last one that she did, probably wasn't the last one, but the one that really spoke to Brian and I, we happened to hear a neurosurgeon come and speak. And he talked about the process and yada, yada, everything that would happen. And it totally convinced me that this was the route that we needed to go. And let me cheat just for a minute here.
Yeah.
My husband had a comment that I specifically wanted to put in there. We've looked at the success rate of DBS, and we've listened to some of the personal stories of the people that have had the surgery, and the success rate that people see has totally convinced us that this is the route that we want to go. So
that's awesome.
So was there one thing that in particular that kind of drove you to that decision, or has it just been kind of a build up?
It's for me, I really, the medications have side effects. And, you know, I used to be able to go 4 and 5 hours in between my medications, and now it's, you know, going back to like 3. And I've developed so much rigidity in my legs that, you know, not every day, but the days that I do, it's miserable. And so I just feel like this is, after, you know, going to be qualified as one of the candidates for DBS, I had to go to Cleveland Clinic, and you had to pass a series of tests that you're tested for, you know, 2 days. It's rather grueling. But I just feel like this procedure is going to help me gain some better quality of life living with Parkinson's. I'm just ready for it.
So how are you preparing, like, mentally? Because actually, do you want to talk about what you're going to have to go through? What you know that you have to go through?
Sure. I know that on March 6th, Brian and I will be headed to Cleveland Clinic, and we have to be there at 2:30 in the afternoon. I'll have a COVID test. They'll lock me up. I get admitted that evening, which will be the night before the surgery. Then the surgery will be sometime on March 7th. Won't know the time until the Friday before. We call and get that. And then the very first thing that I'm aware of, I believe, is what they're going to do, is they will sedate me, and then they will shave my head, which we can get to that question and, you know, towards the end. But anyways, and then I'll be I will be sedated to the point where, you know, then they'll have to wake me up, and I'll have to do certain things during that time. But I stay in the hospital one night. And 2 nights, the night that they admit me before surgery, and then the night of surgery. And if everything goes well, I'll travel back home to Columbus on Tuesday. And, you know, that's probably a question that will be able to answer a little bit better.
Yeah.
I have all my pre-op appointments this coming week on February 23rd. And when I go from like 8:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. So,
day.
you know, I will find out more details from that. But they put they'll put the actual implants where, you know, they'll put the leads in for.
So that's what I was going to say. Can you explain to us what it all entails, the whole DBS entails?
You know, it's one of those things, Brian, where I kind of wish my Brian was sitting here next to me, because he's my medical man and he keeps track of all that for me. But they're going to do the right and the left side on me, but in 2 separate surgeries. So they will do the side that I will receive the most benefit.
So they're actually implanting electrodes.
Correct.
So I have a little definition here.
There you go.
As to what
Thanks,
it's going to be.
Jessica.
So the physician will place 1 or 2 insulated wires called leads into the brain. The leads are then connected to the stimulator, I think, which would maybe be similar to a pacemaker.
Yes,
it goes
correct.
in your chest.
And it goes in your chest, which is typically placed under the skin in the chest. And the device produces mild electrical pulses that stimulate a specific region of your brain. And this may help regulate signaling in the brain, resulting in improvements of Parkinson's symptoms. It's not a cure,
correct,
but it helps improve your day-to-day experiences.
Correct.
So did they tell you, like, what, you know, with your, you know, you have rigidity and tremors, etc. What should you expect when you're, I know it's still going to take time after, but like when it's all said and done? Not that it's like going to go away, but like.
Correct. It definitely will not go away. And one of the things that my youngest daughter, who's a nurse practitioner, her concern of me signing up for this surgery was she was worried that I'm putting too much faith in the fact that I won't have to take any medications. And, you know, quite frankly, at the beginning, that was my driving force. I was like, get me off these meds. And now that I've, you know, read stuff and we've been schooled on it, it's most likely that I will not be off medication.
Right.
You know, you have to still be on it.
But how many pills do you take today, like every day?
Every day I do 6 Cinemets and I do 3 Mirapexes. So
even just lessening that.
Correct. Would be wonderful. Yeah. So, and I've developed the dyskinesia a little bit where, you know, sometimes I think if you have too much of the Cinemet, it causes the swaying.
Yep.
And that's been picked up. And then you and I shared the story too about the rigidity in our legs and driving. That's become a problem for me. And so I'm hopeful that, you know, this DBS might help that as well.
Yeah.
So.
What are you most nervous about?
Well, when I think about, there's a lot of things that I could make myself get nervous about. First of all, it's your brain. You know, it's a vital part of it's your life. And that's what, again, my youngest daughter, who I really kind of worry about her just a little bit because I think she knows too much. So she's been the one that's kind of been the devil's advocate. And every time she says, "Mom, you're having brain surgery," I'm like, I know I'm having brain surgery, Meredith, but I have a lot of faith. And one of my, when I first got diagnosed with Parkinson's, one of my go-tos is my faith is stronger than my fear. And I am totally trying to live by that with this big surgery. But through the Parkinson's family, my family, all of our friends who we're overwhelmed with the support and the love and care and encouraging words that people have been sending us and, holding our hand through the past several months, has made me not be afraid. I'm trying to face it head on and just accept it and go for it. I'm ready to move.
Good.
Yeah.
But DBS is not for everybody,
Correct.
right? I mean, you are starting to.
I'm having the conversations right now.
But you have to go through these tests, and they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like saying "Hey, I want to get this."
No, because
it's almost like she said, like a year out. Almost, you almost have to start like a year out, from what I understand, to get put on the list to be tested, then put on the list for surgery and all that stuff. So.
Right. And there's some symptoms that you might have if you have hallucinations or anything, along those lines where something, if you've got the part where you're addicted to, compulsive behavior, whatever, they, I think, look at that. And also if you are at the beginning of dementia or your memory, they do a lot of memory testing.
Yeah.
I think that those are certain symptoms that if you have, that they may lead to not having the DBS surgery. Yeah. So, and lastly, the one thing that, the biggest thing, I hate to admit my vanity, but it's the shaving of the head. But I've actually, in the past, probably just 3 weeks, a month, have come to grips with that. And the first thing is I'll make it a little silly. I really don't know very many women that that enjoy having a bad hair day. I mean, that sets the tone for our day sometimes if our hair looks like crap. And so I'm looking at that as I won't have any hair. So how can I have a bad hair day? So that's the first kind of way that I'm looking at it. Then secondly, we spend a lot of money on our hair color and our cuts and yada, I'll be saving a lot of money.
Did you hear that, Brian? You're going to be saving money.
And the other thing for Brian is he's constantly waiting on me to be ready because I'm finishing that blow drying of my hair or whatever. I'm going to be just like him. I'm going to be in and out of the shower, and I'm going to have a bunch of extra time on my hands. And maybe I won't be late to exercise class anymore.
I've been calling her out because she's been late. I'm always, you're not there during the week, but I'm pretty much late every single day. But Roz is now a couple minutes late, and I have no problem calling her out.
Exactly. And finally, I have to give some kudos to Steve Brandenburg because I think he has been aware of my feelings of my bald head. And just about 2 weeks ago, I think, we were finishing up class, and he just came to me and said, "You know what, Roz, I really think that this baldness is, it's kind of got you." He said, "But I just want to leave you with the fact that I want you to wear your bald head as a badge of courage." And when he said that to me, I've held on to it. And it is a badge of courage, when you go through major surgery with DBS, and I am going to wear it as a badge of courage. So once again, thanks to my Parkinson's friends and everybody that's supportive.
Thanks, Roz. It's so great to have you on. I'm so glad that you were open. I know we talk about everything
exactly
at our workouts, but I'm so glad that you were able to open up and talk about this because I know it's not easy for you and easy for others that are going through it. So hopefully more, and actually love to hear more after you go through everything. I'd love to have you back.
I might even show my bald head.
That would be great. And it'll be closer to summer, so
exactly.
It won't be so cold.
Absolutely.
In our last 30 seconds, I want to leave you with this. As I mentioned before in previous episodes, we are patients just like you. We are not medical professionals telling you what to do, but there are people out there just like Roz. Patients who fear the unknown, but when educated by the right physician, can make a big decision that will hopefully change her life. But don't let fear stop you from learning. Educate yourself and talk to your doctor. DBS might not be right for you, but it might be a game changer for someone like Roz. We look forward to hearing you from your post-DBS and what we can learn from you as the year progresses. Good luck and God bless.
Good luck, Roz.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you.
Thanks.